I recently bought a Kobo e-reader, and of course, as a bookbinder, I had to make my own faux book for the case instead of buying a normal mass-produced one. So for my first video of 2026, I'm going to bind a custom case while chatting about my goals for the channel, my bookbinding, and my reading this year. I've been on YouTube for just under 6 months now, and it feels like a good time to reflect on what's working well and what I can improve on. I hit 250 subscribers just before Christmas, halfway to unlocking channel memberships and hype points. I don't plan on opening up memberships right at 500, but it's nice to check one eligibility box for the partner program. Watch time is the other, slightly bigger hurdle, so if you ever want any videos you can put on in the background while you work or read, my workshop time-lapse playlist is perfect for that. Every minute you watch one of my videos really helps. The other thing I unlock at 500 is hype points. I have no idea if they'll help my videos at all. YouTube hasn't really communicated the new feature very well, and most of my friends don't even know it exists. I'll have to do some research for when I reach 500 subscribers so that I can concisely explain it in my videos and guide people on how to use them. It'll be interesting to see what they do when I unlock them. My secret stretch goal this year is 1,000 subscribers. Social Blade flickers between saying maybe this year and maybe next, but with a couple of good growth spurts, I think it's possible. If you'd like to help me get there, likes, comments and shares make a huge difference. They tell the algorithm that my videos are worth promoting. Reaching 1,000 subscribers is also the point where I can start earning a little ad revenue, which would directly help improve my video and binding quality. There are so many project ideas that need just a bit more funding to pull off, so helping me reach that goal would unlock so much more potential for the channel. Now we've looked at the channel goals for the year, let's talk a little about what isn't quite working. Lately, I've been struggling with the 2-week per project schedule. If anything disrupts my week, getting sick, or other obligations, such as taking a commission to help fund the channel, it gets stressful to finish on time. As a potential solution to this, I've been thinking about splitting my rebind and review videos into 2 separate videos. One focused purely on the book review, which would be styled more like a traditional review you would find on YouTube, with predominantly face-to-camera shots and a video essay type structure. I'll be honest that I'm a tad apprehensive about this. I started this channel without any intention of showing my face, but I think that my reviews and analysis are improving and growing to the point where I think they could stand on their own. Not to mention, a lot of advice for small creators tells you that showing your face and having eye contact with the camera help the viewer connect more with what's being said, which also helps with viewer retention overall. It'll take me a while to get used to presenting on camera, but I think the benefits will outweigh the costs in the long run, especially when the costs are mainly just me cringing at myself while editing the videos. The other video that I'll spin out from the rebind and review videos will be focused on the rebinding process. I'll talk in more detail about my process while doing each bind. I'll share my techniques, tips I found useful, and what I'm struggling with. These videos will be closer to your typical maker or craft YouTube channels like Rachel Maskey, Nerdforge, Jessless, you know the type. They won't be tutorials like Das Bookbinding or Sea Lemon. I don't think I'm a true authority on how things should get made. I just muddle my way through everything and hope for the best. I hope there's some value in that, and it helps encourage others to be creative and start their own projects. These 2 separated videos, combined with the long-form workshop time-lapse video I started uploading towards the end of last year, would give me a 3-week schedule per project, with 1 video each week. I think this could improve the viewing experience, since some of you prefer the review and others prefer the binding. If you like both, you can watch both videos, but if you're only interested in one, you won't have to skip through the parts you don't want, which is better for you, and better for the video's performance with YouTube's algorithm. I don't want to change anything without your input. Let me know in the comments what you think of this idea, if you think it's a smart change, or if you'd prefer I kept my videos as they are. I'll try to add a poll below if I can figure that out. This would also adjust my reading goal for the year. right now, with a project every 2 weeks, it would be about 26 books, minus a few non-book focused projects here and there, like this Kobo case. If I went down to 3 weeks, that would be closer to 17 books a year. I think I'd like to keep my reading goal a little higher than that, but it would give me the chance to read things just for myself now and then, or focus on an entire series of books, which I don't really have time to do at the moment. It would just give me that little bit more flexibility, which I think my videos would benefit from. I think that's all of my thoughts about my channel and the year ahead, so let's talk about the Kobo case that I've been making while we talked. The hot foil stamping worked well for most of the design, but parts of the foil on the main title tore. I patched these areas with more heat reactive foil using a soldering iron and a paper template, which worked okay. It's a little blurred in places, but it's much better than it was. I think I pushed my luck with the size of the solid text. The foil quill can only draw thin lines. I make things appear solid by cross-hatching, and large filled areas like this can weaken the foil. This leads me to a quick rant about Cricut. They are the most common vinyl cutter brand you see in the rebinding space, but I'm always frustrated every time I use their product. For foiling in particular, it would really help to be able to adjust the speed, because for long lines, the head will move too fast and the foil won't heat up enough to stick, so I have to do multiple passes, which increases the risk of tearing. But I think this would also help with doing intricate paper and vinyl cuts, where you often end up tearing the finer details. I really don't get why they haven't added this feature. Everyone who uses computer-controlled manufacturing machines, such as 3D printers or CNCs, knows that adjusting the cut speed is one of the simplest ways you can improve the quality of the part you're producing. Their main competitor, Silhouette, has had this feature for years, but instead of resourcing development time to adding features that would improve the usability of their product, Cricut seems more interested in finding ways to push users to buy their subscription or forcing AI on us. The user experience gets worse every time I get the machine out. Long term, I think I'd like to switch to Silhouette. I hope it's better, but I guess I'll have to do a review to say for sure, though that won't be until I can afford it. Unless anyone from Silhouette is watching, then I'd happily take a review unit. Anyway, vinyl cutter frustrations aside, back to the build. The rest of the project went relatively smoothly, though I had some 3D printer issues switching between TPU and PLA. I think some of my filament settings got mixed up, which meant more cleanup than usual, but nothing a craft knife and a little sandpaper couldn't fix. As I was covering it all in leather, I could hide my sins under that. This was my first time embossing leather. It turned out okay, but the details aren't as bold as I'd hoped. Maybe this leather isn't the right kind for embossing. It felt a little spongy and would spring back whenever I tried to form it. Or maybe I didn't make the recesses in the print deep or wide enough. I'll have to do some more experimenting to be sure. I made the text block portion of the case that has the cutouts for the e-reader and its accessories removable by pressing threaded inserts into the cover, so if I change my e-reader or accessories in the future, I don't have to remake the whole case. Just take out a few screws and swap it out. The whole thing turned out thicker than I wished, mostly because the Kobo remote has such an odd shape. I don't love the remote, if I'm honest. I'll talk more about that in my review of it and my Kobo in a few weeks. Due to the complex curves, it was difficult to model and have it be a reliable, snug fit, so I had to resort to magnets. I snapped one of my long bar magnets in half and glued it to the inside of the battery cover on the remote, and then glued another magnet into the recess of the remote on the text block. That should help keep it in place. I also used magnets in other places on the case. I put them around the Kobo to help hold it in. This is how their own case attaches, so it's perfectly safe, though the fit was just snug enough that I don't think these were necessary. I also placed a couple in the front cover. There's a spot above the e-reader's screen that has a sensor that will detect a magnet to tell it that the case is open, and this will turn the e-reader on when you open the cover. And then I also added one above the other magnets on the Kobo to help keep the front cover closed when it's in my bag. It was a little nerve-wracking holding magnets up against my expensive new e-reader, but it was designed for this, so it was fine, and everything works as it should. After printing off some decorative paper, waxing it, and then adding it to the inside of the cover, and gilding the edge of the text block with some gold rub and buff, the book was complete. I wanted this case to look like a real book, and I decided to make up a book called The Shifting Spines, a nod to how the book is always changing on my e-reader. I'm really happy with the cover art, though I severely underestimated how long it would take to draw out all of the spines on the bookshelf. The case is bigger than I'd like, but it works perfectly as a stand to hold the e-reader while using the remote for page turns, and the Kobo snaps in and out on the rare occasion that I want to hold it in my hands to read it the conventional way. It's mostly there to be a really solid case for my Kobo, so I don't have to worry about breaking it when I'm out and about, and to function as an organizer to keep all the accessories together. It does a really good job of that. How do you think it turned out? I've got a lot of exciting plans for the coming year. The one I'm looking forward to the most is building a proper binding studio in my garden. Right now I'm working out of a tiny cupboard I turned into an office. Binding, recording and editing, all in the same cramped space. Moving the workshop out will be a game changer. Maybe I'll even turn this room into a small library once the studio is complete. I'm definitely running out of shelf space. Now it's time to reveal the finished case. If you want to follow the studio build and see all of the books that I bind this year, please like and subscribe. You won't want to miss it. Please let me know what direction I should take with my videos, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great 2026. See you next time.